Let me say something that may make some people uncomfortable, but it needs to be said. A lot of marriages are not failing because marriage itself is broken. A lot of marriages are failing because of the mindset many men are bringing into marriage. And before anybody rushes to misunderstand me, let me say this clearly. Yes, there are unhealthy women too. Yes, women can do wrong too. But if we are going to be honest, I mean really honest, we have to talk about a particular kind of entitlement many men are socialized into from birth and how that entitlement follows them into marriage. Because from the moment a boy is born, the world often starts rewarding him simply for being male. Before he has built character, before he has developed discipline, before he has learned humility, before he has proven emotional maturity, before he has shown that he can be trusted with another person's heart, he is already being told in one way or the other that leadership belongs to him. Culture tells him that. Tradition tells him that. Religion, often misused, tells him that. Society tells him that. And so many men enter marriage already crowned by systems they did not build, an authority they did not earn. That is the problem, because marriage was never meant to be a place where a man arrives to collect service from a woman just because he is male. Marriage was never meant to be a throne for unearned authority. Marriage was never meant to be a system where one person is automatically entitled to trust, service, submission, labor, loyalty, emotional service, simply because of what body they were born into. And that is exactly how many women are expected to approach it. A woman is often taught that she must prove herself worthy of marriage, worthy of being chosen, worthy of being kept, worthy of being called wife. She must be beautiful enough, soft enough, disciplined enough, prayerful enough, submissive enough, humble enough, patient enough, domestic enough, forgiving enough, sacrificial enough. All enoughs. She is trained to earn what the man is often simply handed. That imbalance is deadly because many men are not being taught with equal seriousness that they must be worthy of a woman's trust, worthy of her vulnerability, worthy of her surrender, worthy of the influence marriage gives them over another human being's life. Instead, many are taught to see marriage as confirmation of their position. So they come in with ego. They come in with entitlement. They come in expecting reverence they have not earned. They come in expecting submission where they have not built safety. They come in expecting loyalty where they have not demonstrated character. They come in expecting to be centered simply because they are husbands. And when that is the mindset, marriage begins to rot from the inside, because a woman is not a tool for a man's convenience. She is not a machine built to advance his life. She is not an accessory for his status. She is not proof of his masculinity. She is not a helper in the sense of something to be used. She is a human being, a whole human being with a soul, with dignity, with vulnerability, with needs, fears, purpose, limits, with pain, with her own exposure to suffering, hardship, sickness, disappointment, and trial. She is not less human because she was born female, and he is not more deserving because he was born male. That truth should not be controversial, but in practice, many marriages are built as though it is. And this is where so much damage begins. Many men have been conditioned to believe that their presence alone is a gift to a woman, as if simply existing beside her is enough, as if being the man is the contribution, as if having the title of husband is the same thing as earning the trust that title is supposed to carry. So some men feel they can be careless, selfish, emotionally lazy, harsh, immature, unaccountable, even abusive, and still expect devotion. Why? Because they know the woman has been conditioned to. She has been conditioned to believe that having a man validates her, that marriage completes her, that being chosen gives her social worth, that losing a relationship is shameful, that failing at marriage will stain her identity more than it will stain his. And because many women have been burdened with that shame, meaning endure what they should never have had to endure, they stay longer than they should. They bend more than they should. They carry more than they should. They absorb more than they should. Not because the treatment is acceptable, but because the cost of living is often made to fall more heavily on them. And some men know that. They know society will question the woman first, blame the woman first, examine the woman first, shame the woman first. So they move carelessly within a system that already protects them. And then people wonder why so many marriages are fractured. How can a marriage thrive when one person comes in believing leadership is their birthright, but service is optional? How can a marriage thrive when one person expects trust they have never earned? How can a marriage thrive when scripture is used to demand submission from women, but not used to demand sacrifice, tenderness, integrity, and self-giving love from men? How can a marriage survive when helper is interpreted to mean tool? Tell me. That is not marriage. That is hierarchy without humanity. And I need to say something about this misuse of faith, because too many women have been crushed on the spiritual language that men were never meant to weaponize. Yes, people quote submission. Yes, people quote order. Yes, people quote headship. But what they often refuse to examine is the quality of the men asking for trust, because trust is not something a woman owes to male anatomy. Trust should be invited by character. Let me say that again. Trust should be invited by character. A man should be worthy of the weight marriage places in his hands. And when I look at Christ, I do not see a model of entitled masculinity. I see servant leadership. Christ did not demand trust through raw authority alone. He demonstrated love. He laid down his life. He served. He sacrificed. He made himself trustworthy through action. That kind of leadership invites surrender because it creates safety. But many men do not want that model. They want the authority without the sacrifice. They want the obedience without the service. They want the reverence without the responsibility. They want the position without the process of becoming the kind of man who carries it. And that is why many women are pushing back now. Not because they are rebellious. Not because they are too modern. Not because they hate men. But because they are human beings. And there is only so much dehumanization a human being can absorb before she says no more. There is only so much entitlement a woman can live under. Only so much ego, only so much one-sided sacrifice, only so much spiritual manipulation, only so much being told to submit to what has not become trustworthy. Women are tired of being told to honor titles that are empty of substance. Tired of carrying marriages on broken backs while men are praised for simply showing up male. Tired of being shamed into endurance while the humanity is endured. Tired of being called difficult for asking to be treated like a full person. And honestly, they should be tired. Because a marriage cannot be healthy where a man's maleness is treated as qualification enough. It is not enough. It is not. Being male is not a moral achievement. It is not proof of wisdom. It is not proof of maturity. It is not proof of leadership. It is not proof of safety. It is not proof of love. And until more men are taught that marriage is not a reward for being born male, but a responsibility that demands humility, discipline, service, self-awareness, and deep respect for the humanity of a woman, many marriages will continue to break under the weight of entitlement. And then they'll blame the society for male being under attack, and they are the weapon fashioned against themselves. Men and women do need each other, but needing each other should lead with mutual honor, not exploitation. To partnership, not domination. To complement, not consumption. A woman should not have to destroy herself to prove she is worthy of a man. And a man should not assume he is worthy of a woman simply because he exists. That logic is broken. That mindset is broken. And many marriages are breaking because of it. So no, the conversation we need is not just why a marriage is failing. The conversation we need is what kind of men are we sending into marriage? Men who have been taught to serve or men who have been taught to rule? Men who understand stewardship or men who expect worship? Men who know how to build trust or men who think trust should come automatically? This is where the real conversation begins, because if men entered marriage understanding that leadership is not control, that love is not entitlement, that being a husband is not a free pass into a woman's life, and that trust must be earned, not extracted, many homes will look very different. Many women would suffer less, many marriages would heal, many unions would survive, many homes would become safer. But until then, women will keep speaking, and they should, because silence has protected entitlement for too long. Redefine your narrative. A title does not make a man trustworthy. A gender does not make a man worthy. And leadership without sacrifice is not leadership at all. Redefine your narrative. Women are not refusing marriage because they hate commitment. Many are refusing the kind of marriage that asks them to bleed in order to keep a man comfortable. And if men want stronger marriages, they must bring more than anatomy, ego, and a title. They must bring character. God bless you.